From Fox, I am Andy Mack. Some 16 years after British toddler Madeleine McCann disappeared, there is a new search effort underway in Portugal. And we want to be joined right now by Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palkot. Greg, thank you so much for joining us. What are we learning, and maybe what did police find out, and what tip did they get to open up this new search?
Andy, the one thing we know is that there is a lot of new police activity not far from where Madeleine McCann disappeared some 16 years ago. Just to recap, this was a 3-year-old British toddler. She was with her family on a vacation in the Portugal resort, and she went missing. She disappeared, and her parents led a years-long effort to try to find out where she was, and there's still no answers. What has happened in the past couple of years is that a known sex offender, that is somebody who is behind jails now for a sex crime and has been convicted on child abuse cases, is now thought to be the prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, perhaps the death of Madeleine McCann, according to German officials, where he's now being held. And what we've been seeing in the past day is triggered by more information that the German officials have been getting regarding this individual, regarding his possible involvement with Madeleine McCann. We've been watching both German and Portuguese police, as well as British police observers, comb the area around a reservoir not far from where Madeleine McCann went missing, again, 16 years ago. They've been looking very carefully around the banks of the reservoir, and they've been floating around the reservoir, and it turns out, according to various reports, Andy, that this is a place where this individual, where this key suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann would go. What are they looking for? The police still are not saying. Are they actually looking for, sadly, what could be the remains of Madeleine McCann? That's a possibility. Or are they looking for something involved with the criminal abduction, or perhaps the killing of Madeleine McCann? The German police are not saying exactly what, but the sheer number of individuals that are involved in this search, several dozen right now, makes this to be the newest and biggest development in this case in the past couple of years. Obviously, the parents are looking on. They have been the main motivator for all the police efforts all around the world to try to find their daughter, or at the very least, Andy, maybe to come to some final conclusion about what happened to her.
Correct. Yeah, such a tragic story. Madeleine would have been 20 years old today, and this is the first major operation, like you mentioned, since 2014. This tip must have been something maybe potentially big. Are we getting any more information about maybe what led to this new one? Because this tip must have been big, because they haven't had a search for nearly a decade.
Yeah, the German officials are keeping pretty mum. They've been saying a few things today. What they do say is that there is new evidence. It is connected with the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Again, we don't know whether it's actually, possibly, sadly, the actual remains of the individual, or again, perhaps a weapon used, or something that might give a stronger connection, a stronger clue to this individual that's now, again, in prison on other charges. Again, he is listed by the Germans as the sort of the top suspect, but he has not been charged yet. So there still is a little bit, at least more evidence that needs to be gathered by the police in Germany before they can actually charge him with the crime. And right now it's all circumstantial, but obviously a lot of people looking, a lot of people watching, and a lot of people hoping, Andy.
And my last question for you, Greg, is I'm going to put up video one more time of this search that continues. Can you give us a little bit of insight into maybe the location in which they're searching now? It's a remote reservoir. Maybe people in the United States don't have a grasp of what Portugal looks like and different areas of there, but it seems to be a very remote location, maybe something that normal tourists wouldn't go to. Can you give us a little bit more insight into what this location is, maybe where it's at particularly?
Yeah, on the face of it, Andy, it's a remote location, but what's important is it's only about 30 miles away from the resort where Madeleine McCann went missing. And also the key bit of information that we're getting through various reports is that this location is kind of a campsite, a parking area along the edge of this reservoir, is where this key suspect was seen often. He frequented this location. So the thinking is that perhaps, well, he might have brought Madeleine there, or he might have left something in connection with the abduction of Madeleine McCann. That's why this obscure reservoir actually holds perhaps a lot of importance into this still unsolved case, Andy.
Very unsolved. Greg Palkot, thank you so much again for joining us here as the new search commences for potentially Madeleine McCann. We appreciate it here on Live.